Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. This is Cable 2.
Good evening and welcome to our Board of Education meeting for this Tuesday, April 28th. Okay, we have a special presentation by some special folks, and we're going to start with a Safe Prom Night, and I'm going to call on David Daggett.
Thank you, Mr. Lambeth, School Board, Dr. Martin, parents, students, educators, and community members. Thank you for having us tonight. Wow, what an exciting presentation of students you had before you. We are excited. In our 19th year of the Sober Prom Night program, we are now in 39 high schools across 10 counties in the triad, and we have some fantastic students out there. Our Lewis and Daggett team has been crisscrossing the triad. We've been in 26 high schools so far. Approximately 10,000 students have signed the Safe Sober Prom Night Do It Right pledge so far this year. We still have about 5,000 more t-shirts in inventory for the remaining 13 high schools. I want to recognize we have 6 of our 12 lawyers here tonight, and they're sitting in the front row, along with some of our personnel that helps direct the Safe Sober Prom Night program. In our 19 years, we've learned a lot of lessons, and I've spoken before with Dr. Martin, and I want to thank Dr. Martin, Dr. Perrier, and Dr. Symington in particular for the support that they've given us. And I've had a PowerPoint presentation and a prepared speech, but tonight with this group and this audience, I just want to review a couple of our founding principles that I review for myself frequently because I think they're important for all of us. Our first founding principle of the Safe Sober Prom Night program is awareness. For students, that means awareness of the dangers of drugs and alcohol. For us, for the community, for business leaders, for school board, awareness also means being aware of the difficulties that our students are having. When we started the Safe Sober Prom Night program 19 years ago, I thought that we'd start the program, it would get on autopilot, and all the problems would be solved. Something that principals know and that educators know is students turn over every year, and our mission is never done. The other area of awareness is when we started the program 19 years ago, it struck me, I was not a parent at the time, I am now with 3 children, that we had a wave coming through our school system of parents, of children coming from single parent households. They need the support from all of us. In visiting the schools this spring, we have another wave coming through our school system, and that is students coming from no parent households. These students need us. They need all of us. A study was done that the single most important factor for the success of a young person is to have one adult outside their family take a personal interest in them as an individual. We all need to be aware of it. That's all our duty. Our second founding principle is positive peer pressure. The peer pressure that our young people are under these days is tremendous. And what we need to do is help them cultivate an atmosphere of positive peer pressure. Our young people leadership, they want to succeed. They want to do the right thing. They need our help. And thank you for being there to help our young people. Last fall, Harvard published in a business journal that the #1 way to influence young people is through peer pressure. I spoke at the principals meeting about that, and they said they already knew that. We need to encourage that atmosphere for our young people. And then the third founding principle is having parent, community, and business support for our young people. And quite frankly, I'll plead guilty that that's an area where I have fallen down in the past. We have focused so much on the students, we didn't spend time cultivating with businesses, family, and community leaders the support system that students need. This spring, have spoken to a number of parent groups, business groups, and we've brought in an outside speaker, Coach Bob Anastas, who is a professional motivational speaker, a former NFL quarterback, and the national founder of Students Against Driving Drunk. Last week, we made 12 presentations to high schools in trying to give our young people some support. Spoken to church groups. Whenever I speak to a church group, I like to have, sometimes they're a little hard to get going, and I like to have a joke in my back pocket. I pulled out a church bulletin that I thought had a blooper in it. And that church bulletin read, "If you have children and don't know it, the nursery's down the hall." But then, upon reflection, thought possibly that's not a blooper. They're all our children, and they're down the hall, they're in our classrooms, they're in our community centers, they're in our rec centers, and they need us. And I'll leave you with one of my favorite proverbs that goes that if a child does not turn out better than the parent, then both have failed. Likewise, we also believe that if the upcoming generation doesn't turn out better than our generation, we have failed. We need to wrap our arms around these students. I've been in business meetings where we've talked about what's wrong with this upcoming generation. It's not what's wrong with the upcoming generation, it's what's wrong with our generation. And please join me in never point down to a student unless you're out there with us, lending a hand to pull them up. These students want to succeed. They need our encouragement and support. We have great students in our school system, and we're proud of them. Thank you for having us tonight. Our pledge is we'll keep the program going for at least another 19 years. Thank you, Dr. Martin.
Your program is making a difference. We appreciate you and your legal team. It's certainly a sacrifice for your team to be out and about and do all the wonderful things you're doing for our school district. We appreciate what you do and know that it is being recognized by certainly our board and our school community and continued success in that program. Thank you.
From the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, this is Cable 2.